I'm bug-eyed. Sup? Sup? All right. I've got these alien-looking glasses on and a Playboy bunny shirt. The shirt has nothing to do with it. I kind of just wanted to show it off. I found this, or my dad found this the other day, gave it back to me, and I just wanted to wear it because why not? Anyway, so today I want to talk about a little theory I had cooking up in this notebook. This one right here, which I'm now using to write down ideas for videos for the future because gotta think ahead. Gotta think with this noggin. Anyway, I talked on my TikTok. If you haven't seen that, it's tiktok.com/terrybearslawnchair. You should go look at it. But I talked on there about Jeffrey Epstein and some of the shit that happened there. But today I wanted to dive into a new theory. And the only reason I brought up Epstein was because that is what made me end up coming across this theory, which, I don't have my tinfoil hat to put on. I actually did try to go find some tinfoil to make a hat so I could wear it for this video. I'm sorry. I'm ashamed I couldn't. But I wrote this theory down as I was, absolutely belligerently fucking my brain with all of this heinous shit. I found this theory. In fact, I concocted it up myself, and I don't know exactly how true this could possibly be or if science backs it at all, but this is just a theory, and that's why it's not proven. And I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying it's kind of an interesting little think piece. So the microwave was invented, I believe, sometime in the 1900s, 1920s. I'm not totally sure. I did not write that down. I didn't totally think it was important either. But the idea got stolen originally from a man who I believe was using it for military purposes. So I have written down that 1.5 gigahertz of bugs flying around your earlobe, apparently, 1.5 gigahertz affects the cortisol levels in human beings. This is science proven. If you look it up, that is the number they give you. 1.5 gigahertz. A microwave runs at 2.45 gigahertz. Now, I do understand that the difference in frequencies and waves, it plays a role. Okay, the length in the wave definitely plays a role in how it might affect human beings. I do understand that. However, just because something goes at a shorter wavelength or a longer wavelength does not necessarily mean it has zero effect on us. And I wasn't able to find many studies about that, but if you think about how music was found to affect human beings, it was found to increase emotion and attitude, or decrease emotion and attitude. So I wrote this down because everything on this damn planet that we have, this phone I have, is actually, it makes 600 megahertz or 39 gigahertz is about standard, I think. Again, this is old. Whenever I wrote this down. So how new and how different your specific model of phone is definitely plays a role. However, regardless, your phone lets off a frequency. Your microwave lets off a frequency. Your refrigerator lets off a frequency. Everything in reality is built upon frequencies. That's all like quantum dynamic shit. I'm having a brain fart right now. That's like quantum level shit. That's not what I'm talking about today. Although it isn't interesting, it's just not what I'm talking about. I have wrote down cell towers create 40 gigahertz. Satellites are 39 gigahertz. The same as phones. Well, I think I may have said the wrong thing about cell towers. Cell towers make 40 gigahertz. I don't know if I said that. I can't really remember. Short-term memory. And I found out all of this just because I felt like looking it up. But 1.5 gigahertz exactly affects cortisol and the metabolism of human beings. If you think about, and this isn't like a 5G towers or causing coronavirus fucking theory. That's not at all. It's more mild than what it sounds. However, I do think it could probably be, and in fact, it's been proven that it's been used for militaristic reasons, like crowd control. They have loud, super, super loud frequency sirens that are supposed to enable the fight or flight inside of human beings so that people run away. That has been used. That has been shown to have been used, and publicly. Now, what I am presenting is that everything got way too fucking loud. Like, way too fucking loud. I go outside in the morning, I can hear the cell tower across from my house fucking ringing like a goddamn church bell at Sunday at 12 in the fucking afternoon. Like, and if you didn't know, it rings 12 times. I didn't know that. I had to get that taught to me. But it rings 12 times because it is 12 o'clock in the afternoon. And for every 30 minutes, it will ring one more time. And then another 30 minutes, it'll be, let's say, from 12 to 1. So it rings 12 times at 12, and then it rings again at 30 minutes. So 12:30, it would ring one more time to indicate the halfway mark. And then at 1 o'clock, it would ring another once, or another ring. Really cool. I didn't know that. Anyway, if your fucking microwave is literally putting off, it is called a microwave for a reason. It lets off little waves. If you look at it in like I think it's a sonograph, it literally has waves. And it is letting that off all the time. Cell towers are letting that off all the time. Your TVs let that off all the time. Computers, phones, fucking alarm clocks, guitar, like amplifiers, and the guitar itself, everything lets off a frequency. So the new artificial things that are being introduced that might be affecting our cortisol, because people now are significantly more different, a lot different than they would have been, let's say, 40 years ago. Significantly different. And I would argue that maybe some of that has to do with the newly introduced frequencies into the world, because cell towers 40 years ago was damn near unheard of. You didn't have cell towers everywhere. Different broadband links of frequency. So there's 5G, there's 2.4, there's 2.0, there's 1 gigahertz. It all goes across. I don't think there's 1 gigahertz. I think that's actually too low. Now there's satellites. We have over 200,000 satellites in space right now, putting off a frequency aiming down at the Earth. I am almost certain that all of these frequencies have to be affecting the human race in some sort of fucking way. I mean, if you think about it, like, obviously, let's just put this in like an easy way. If a dog shits once outside, or better yet, if a cow shits once outside, doesn't mean much. It doesn't mean much to the environment. It doesn't mean much to just about anything, right? It's just a big old pile of cow shit. And that's what I'd be serving you if there wasn't numerous studies about how frequencies affect human beings, not necessarily cell tower frequencies given, or a phone frequency, or any of that. I obviously cannot tell you I know how those affect human beings. I have no idea. However, if a cow, or a big fucking honking group of cows like we have in America, if all of them just shit at once, there is so much methane produced in the air that it cuts so much oxygen and CO2. In fact, I'm pretty sure a study in, I don't remember what year, maybe it was like 2016. I think it may have been 2016. Actually showed that cow shit was like one of the main leading causes of the ozone layer breaking down. Or, well, maybe not the ozone. That has to do with the radiation. but it is a part of it. But the CO2 gas is emitted, and why the greenhouse gas effect is taking such a huge toll, which I don't remember. I think it was George Carlin. He's a comedian. If you haven't seen him, I would recommend watching his stuff. George Carlin was like amazing at what he did. But he even said this, and I completely agree with him. For fucking millennium, for centuries, this motherfucker has had volcanoes. This rock we're sitting on right now. This rock has had volcanoes erupting, which produce more CO2 in 30 seconds than we could probably produce in like a month or 3 months. Volcanoes, comets just straight up ass blasting the fuck out of the earth. Like you name it, tornadoes, natural disasters, animals, all this shit. It has been around the fucking sun like 49 billion times. So to think that we're so special that we get here and we make these cars and we make these fucking tanks and big plants and that's somehow going to take Mother Earth out, I don't totally see it. I could see how prolonged over the course of another 1,000 so years that would make sense. I think right now the pole shift is probably what's going to happen. That was another thing I failed to mention. The pole's shifting. And if that is true, it's supposed to happen like every 25,000 years. I think that was one of the estimates I'd heard. But that would make a lot of sense as to why some shit keeps happening, right? Increased storm intensity, earthquakes, the rising of, the ocean because the ice caps are melting in the South Pole or in Antarctica. Like, it makes a lot of sense, not just that we are literally farting up so much, like farting up a fucking storm, just creating a giant wall of green shit filth in the fucking atmosphere, and for some reason that it's warming up and just fucking creating this massive stink, and now the entire planet is like exploding. A pole shift makes more sense, in my opinion. I'm no scientist, but I have common sense, pretty decent amount. Anyway, but the frequencies being introduced to humans, I think, is something that might need to be like processed and at least researched a little more. How phone frequencies or microwave frequencies or conventional oven frequencies or TV frequencies affect human beings, everyday items. It's like, to put the naivety into perspective, back in the day, in like the early 50s, maybe late 40s, I think, uranium was like this newfound, or radium, anyway, it was this newfound, like, I think it's an element, but I don't remember what the fuck it is. But obviously it's radiation, essentially, and it let off a lot of radiation. And I'm sure everybody who's ever been on TikTok at least once saw the thing about the iridium clocks, or the iridium clocks that were built by the radium girls. Back in the day, they used to put things in uranium jars to irradiate water so that they could drink it because they believed it had health benefits. Smoking. People thought smoking cigarettes was healthy and good to do until, again, like the late 60s or early 60s. So, I mean, obviously, it wouldn't be so far out to think that everyday household utilities have some sort of effect. I mean, we were drinking radiation-filled water. We were smoking cigarettes into our lungs, and we believed that that was healthy. Not that it matters. I mean, if you want to smoke, that's great. If you want to drink irradiated water, go right on ahead. I mean, you're a fucking idiot, but you do you. But to think that if we did those things that many years ago, what makes us think that now we've just all of a sudden missed out on scientific inquiry? Like, we can no longer do that because we already fucking know everything. We sure shit don't. God, look at the government. Our government's at least 40 years ahead of us in science and technology. They release shit every once in a while. They'll give you it. Like the B-2 bomber. The B-2 bomber has been around since like the fucking 50s. Who could you even like fathom the craziness of that? Since like I think it was the 50s, maybe it was the 60s, but the B-2 bomber, one of probably the most advanced bombers and still like one of the more advanced bombers in the world today. Not even like what would that have been? Fuck. I don't know, 40, 50 years ago? Even then, like that was like a UFO. Now, obviously, we know about it, but it's still a extremely dangerous weapon. And that was from like 40 fucking years ago. Imagine what happened between the 40-year span of the B-2 bomber and now with cell phones and AI and augmented reality. And it's crazy. I also have written down, that kind of brings me to another point I could talk about. And I just remembered this. This isn't like scripted. I'm just like speaking. But RTX, the people that make like processors for like computers and shit like that, apparently they are a military corporation. Again, I haven't looked at this research in a while, and I really didn't research it again before I did this. But whenever I did do the research on this, somebody fucking poking my goddamn door with a walking stick. You bastard. You get the fuck back. When I say like everybody in this entire neighborhood can probably hear me while I'm doing these videos at night, I mean everybody. Everybody's hearing me talk about orangutan asses, conspiracy theories, and random useless nonsense. And I wish they would just follow me. Just subscribe. Just do it. Anyway. But yeah, RTX is a military group. Or at least they have done military involved things. Now, I don't know if you could imagine, but that's kind of a scary thought. A company that makes gaming software and software for computers in general is also a military owned, or well, maybe not owned, but like a mercenary. People buy technology from them, they make them new technology, and they sell it to that person. Imagine what they could do with data. I mean, if they could literally store data. I mean, the CIA can literally fucking blow up your Tesla Model 3 X15 A37, like literally make the car just stop working because you farted in the wrong direction of the fucking Mr. President. Like, and that's not even one specific. That's just in general. Not one specific president. Just in general, they will explode your vehicle. But it's just crazy that hasn't been something that's been researched more. I would just think it would be. I mean, we did the research in, I think it was 2018, 2019-ish. I don't know. But scientists did research how music affects people and did a kind of sonograph thing on that, or a visualizer anyway, of what the frequencies look like. And they, oddly enough, kind of matched what emotion they would be conveying. Like happier songs would have a happier looking picture on it. Sadder songs would have a sadder looking picture. I don't mean like a picture, but like what the frequency was showing. But yeah, they proved like whenever you listen to, and other people have talked about this before. I'm not the first one. I think I might be the first one talking about that specifically. But like if you listen to your favorite song, it comes with like a feeling of nostalgia that you attach to that specific frequency. It comes with whatever the music may have been about. It could have been a happy song, so you feel happy, or it could have been a sad song, so you feel sad. Like that is already crazy enough, but it's not thought about in a wider scale. It doesn't necessarily have to be music. Everything has a frequency. Maybe not actively hearable, but certain things do. Cell towers do. You can literally hear cell towers working. Like your phone, you can't hear that working, but you know it is there. It has to have a frequency. That's how you pick up and make calls and connect to the internet. It has a frequency. Your internet router will have a frequency. It runs at 2.4 gigahertz or 5.0 gigahertz. That's what the broadband is. It's what it runs on. So the fact that they haven't researched how that might affect, I don't know how they would. Maybe watch somebody's brain, like how they do. I don't know. Like they hook like the electrodes up to their head and they do it like that, and they kind of scan the brain as it's doing things. But just hearing like, just go like having a control group, like one person is without a phone. What does his brain look like in a silent, isolated room, like a complete padded room? What would that look like? And maybe somebody that was like completely prepared for the silence. Some people can't handle that. So like somebody who is used to quiet spaces, that enjoys quiet spaces, put them in that room that's silent and dark probably, so that it gets rid of any visual cues. And of course, like willing participants. I mean, come on, if we could figure out frequencies work like that willingly, it doesn't have to be. Apparently, the military is willing to fucking, maybe not the military, but the government's willing to do anything. There's a Russian experiment that, this isn't our government, but this is a government, about sleep, reducing sleep, how it affects people. And they literally like made people stay up for weeks on end, and they got fucked up. So I'm sure this is researched, it's just not public. I don't know, maybe they're mind controlling us with frequencies. Wouldn't that be fucking nuts? And I'd be the first one to tell you. That would be sick. I'd probably die first, too. I'd get shot 5 times in the back of the head and I can't say most of these things on YouTube. You guys know what I mean, though. I would mysteriously die out of nowhere. But yeah, I mean, it's just a wild thing. And put them in that dark room and then put another person in the same dark room, except have a phone. Maybe it's turned on, it's got the brightness down, it's somewhere in a corner. But you see if the brain picks up on the frequency of the phone being activated and turned on. And see if maybe connecting to internet changes anything, because that carries a frequency. That would be a good, like, insight. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like this is something that should be proven wrong, because if not, then our world is so convoluted with so many things that fuck up our brains that it makes sense why certain things have been getting fucked up. And if it affects the human body in any way, that would be a good study to have. That way we can prevent that. Although, if I got to tell you guys, if they ever did a study on this and they found out, or if they haven't already, but if they did a study on this and they found out that cell towers or phones or any of this shit was like completely fucking up your brain, they would bury it. Companies would bury that shit. They don't want you to know that their shit is fucking up your brain. They're cool with it as long as you keep buying. Enough said. Anyway, I really want to make a video today, and I kind of want to make one more serious. Obviously, not as many shit, dick, titty jokes. Sorry if that's not your type of content. I just thought it would be, fun to get on here and talk some conspiracy. Although I will have more funny episodes coming out. Well, I say episodes, it's not like a series. But also, update. I did get my computer. I have my computer coming in. I just ordered a MSI 1030 Ti for it. It's a small computer, and it's not really meant for bigger processing. But that way I can play, because I'm not going to be playing Steam games very much. I do plan on playing some indie games and some smaller creators games and stuff, just because that looks fun. I've seen a bunch of people do it. and I really like it. Excites me to like just jump into a game that's kind of short and snappy, like horror games, stuff like that. It's like exciting. It's cool. So I want to try and do that and see what the response is from you guys. But yeah, I ordered a MSI 1030 Ti, and it's like a GDDR. It's a small GPU, and it'll allow me to run smaller games. Like I can play Minecraft and Roblox, any game that you could think of that's really small. And I'm also ordering another, I think, 16 gigabytes of RAM for it, so that it opens and runs better. But yeah, I'm really excited. Like this is gonna be awesome. I'm really giddy. I'm really happy with how it's going, and I hope that you guys are gonna enjoy the new stuff because I'm just gonna keep on pumping this shit out. I mean, even if you don't like this absolute sewer factory that I'm pumping out that you think it is, I'm still having fun just throwing shit out the window. I'm like a fucking chimp at the zoo, just throwing shit at people. It's kind of fun. So yeah, I'm really excited. I hope you guys like the stuff that I'm about ready to make. I will be showing my setup whenever I get it set up. I've got like some 1920s fucking monitors coming with it. I'm so excited. It's gonna be so great. You guys, I don't know. I don't know. I'm really excited. I'm really happy to finally be able to make some videos like that, and I'm gonna be probably doing more of this than I ever will gameplay videos or videos like that because I enjoy talking to my audience, and if you made it this far, like thank you, that's awesome, and also leave a comment, tell me what you think about it because I think it's really interesting, and I wonder if people have thought the same way about like what I'm talking about. Because I feel like I have a very weird, funky fucking brain. Like it just thinks of the most random shit and, kind of just fucking butt. But I'd like to see if people, think the same way. If they've thought about that or researched it or whatever. Or if there are research papers about that I don't know about. I'm sure there are. Or maybe somebody's in the CIA in the comments and they're going to tell me the secret before they off me. That would be kind of cool too. Not the offing part because I want to make videos, but the knowing part, I guess that'd be kind of cool. But then again, we saw how knowing went with Epstein, so maybe I don't want to know shit. I think there's some things I'd really rather not fucking know, and I'll let somebody else handle because I'm selfish as shit in that way. I don't want to feel bad. I just want to be happy. I want to have a good time and ignore all the problems in life. Even though I don't do that. It's just nice to think that way. So I talked about that on my TikTok too. Things that could change. You might enjoy that. Like I said, tiktok.com/TerrorBearsLawnchair. It's in my description. So anyway, I just want to get on here, tell you guys how excited I am, give you a conspiracy to think on, really just brew on it, post it all over Reddit after you go on Reddit to watch your saved porn because that's what Reddit's for. But yeah, anyway, I hope everyone has a good night and a greater day tomorrow. I'll see y'all later.